So the round of 16 is nearly over, and in this video, I wanted to go through my team selection ahead of the quarterfinals. Right, before we get into the team selection itself, I just wanted to go over my team and how I've gotten on during this round of 16, and I've only got myself to blame, really. I was at Glastonbury at the weekend, got back on Monday, and I basically just fell asleep during the deadline. Didn't intend to, wanted to do my team, was ready, prepared. But yeah, I just didn't make my transfer, and you can see there, unfortunately, I have some points stuck on my bench, and some of these are a bit of a missed opportunity, really. Ultimately, though, I think the only player I would have really considered bringing in, definitely, is Diogo Costa. The rest of my team, they did all right, and obviously Ronaldo played on the same day as Theo Hernandez, and likewise Mbappe did, and obviously he outscored those two players, but would I have brought him in with the points that I already had accumulated? I'm not 100% sure. Same with Bruno, I guess, but yeah, hindsight is a wonderful thing, I guess. I forgot to do my team. I forgot to make my transfers or my subs, and I forgot to change my captaincy. Round of 16, I got 60 points, which isn't too bad. I'm down a little bit from where I was after the group stages. I'm 75,000th overall with 3.5 million people playing the game. Just looking at my team at the moment, to be honest, like, I'm quite happy with it. And we'll go through in a bit more detail exactly what I plan to do. Just before I get into the team, and I did this for my buy and avoid video as well, but I think it's really important, especially when considering players that you want to bring into your team, etc. It's really important to take a look at this tournament tree and look at some of these teams' routes to the final. And basically, in my mind, the tournament tree is kind of split into two sections. I don't know exactly how the Euros, call these two varying routes to the final, but you've got the top tier here and the bottom tier below. The top tier, the quarterfinals consist of Spain, Germany, Portugal, and France. Arguably, four of the most, best teams in the tournament, basically, based on what I've seen so far. So do you want to be picking players from these teams who, I'd say in most cases, have a 50-50 chance of getting knocked out? Like, I cannot decide who's going to win between Spain and Germany, and I also can't decide who's going to win between Portugal and France. I'd say all four of these teams are really evenly matched, whereas this bottom tier of the tournament tree is, not completely predictable, right, I should say. Some of these results could surprise us and be unpredictable, etc. Obviously got Romania, Netherlands, Austria and Turkey to play out just at the time that I'm recording this video. England have got Switzerland in the quarterfinals. Historically you'd say England should win that one, but they've not been all that great this tournament, I'll admit. And Switzerland have looked really strong. So yes, I'd say across the board, the tournament is pretty unpredictable, but I'd say picking players from the sort of bottom tier here of the tournament tree, particularly when Netherlands and Austria have played, for example, because I think they could be teams worth going for. I would say the bottom tier is where you should be picking your players from, basically, and that's where I'm going to be looking when it comes to making my transfers. Okay, so goalkeepers and defenders then. I've got Nathan Ake, Marc Guéhi, Marc Cucurella, John Stones, Theo Hernandez, Jordan Pickford, and Diogo Costa. Gotta say, I am largely happy with all of these players. Ake, he still hasn't played yet. If the Netherlands get knocked out in the round of 16, then obviously he's going to be a transfer out. Marc Guéhi, he is going to be a transfer out. Thankfully gone up to 4.6 million now. He's suspended for the quarterfinals. I just don't think it's worth having a player in your team who is suspended, basically. And I think I'm eyeing up a little wild card during the semi-finals, or potentially doing so. So with that in mind, I think Marc Guéhi, I'm not happy with having a player that doesn't play. So for that reason, I think I'm going to have to take him out. Cucurella, Stones and Hernandez. I mean, I'm happy with all three of those. I know quite a lot of, these players have difficult fixtures, but I just don't think it's worth transferring them out. And I think Cucurella, Hernandez have proven across their careers that they're not reliant on clean sheets, basically, to score points, particularly in this Euros game. So I think they're just fine. And I quite like the thought of being able to rotate between Pickford and Costa as my goalkeepers as well. So I've got a couple of players that I'm eyeing up to replace Guéhi. I don't have anything in the bank, and whilst he's worth 4.6 million, that's the amount of budget I basically have in order to replace him. Now, I could go for the England defender that's lined up to replace Guéhi if we get some intelligence on it. It could be Konsa, could be Gomez, could be Dunk. I think it's likely to be Konsa. Or I could go for a couple of other defenders who have proven to be pretty good this tournament for around the same price. And given that the England defender that's going to replace Guéhi isn't ideal, well, I don't think it's set in stone yet. I think you've got to go for either Cher or Tar based on what we know now. Jonathan Tah has got Spain, who I think has been one of the best attacking teams in the tournament so far. Probably doesn't really offer that much goal threat. Potential for some ball recoveries, whereas Fabian Schär, based on his time at Newcastle anyway, he's got an absolute long shot cannon on him, and he's pretty dangerous from set pieces too. He's got England, who I would say are less likely to score in the game than Spain are against Germany. So I think Gehi replacements, I just about favour Fabian Schär. So he's going to come into my team. Now, looking at the midfield, I've got Musiala, Fabian Ruiz, Neco Williams. Is it Neco Williams? Gundogan and Bruno Fernandes. Gundogan's set as the captain at the moment, but, you know, depending on the dates of fixtures, etc., I'll pick the best captain on the first day, basically. Again, quite happy with this midfield. I don't see really any reason to take any of these players out. The one guy that's been a bit annoying for me is Gundogan. Given that he's not on penalties anymore for Germany, question, could I do a bit better than him? For 7 million, though, there are not a whole lot of options outside of Gundogan that I could go for. Potentially, if we just look back at the tournament tree, potentially, if Austria get through against Turkey, I might go for Sabitzer. But right now, I think Gundogan is good enough to have in my team. It's a bit boring, but I don't think I'm going to use a transfer on any of my midfielders. And then on to the three up front, we got Kane, Mbappe and Ronaldo. And again, Ronaldo's been quite disappointing this tournament. I heard a stat when he was playing his game last night that he's now taken over 60 free kicks for his country and scored one. And that was against Spain, I think, in a couple of Euros ago where he scored a hat-trick. He's not looked all that good this tournament, I must say. He's been getting in good positions, standing over all the free kicks and missed, obviously, got points for a missed penalty in their fixture in the round of 16. So, can I justify selling Ronaldo? That's probably the one question about this. Kane and Mbappe are in. I think Kane is as good as you can get, really, as a top-level international striker. With Switzerland coming up, I think that's a relatively decent fixture, even though, of course, I brought in Fabian Schär. Mbappe's the best player in the world, right? I don't think I can justify bringing out the best player in the world who is a talisman for their team. Ronaldo could be transferred out, but I'm looking at all the other forward options, and I just don't see one I think is going to score me enough points. So that summarises my team selection, basically. I am largely happy with this team. Let me know in the comments, if you think I should do anything different. But, I picked my team at the start of the round of 16, and I'm still largely happy with the way things have played out and how it looks going forwards. Other than those few players I thought I could get rid of, don't really see any changes I need to make. I think the semi-finals, once the big four teams have played each other in the quarters, we'll probably get a good idea of how things are looking to shape up with regards to a route to the finals. So maybe the semi-finals is a good time to play that wild card. I was personally eyeing up the quarterfinals, expecting some upsets, etc. That hasn't really come to fruition yet, particularly with the team that I selected. So we're going to roll on, use just the one transfer as far as I'm concerned at the moment. Yeah, and hope for the best, and hope I don't miss any more deadlines during the quarterfinals. If you enjoyed the video, please leave me a like rating. Again, let me know in the comments what you think of my, ideas, etc. with my team. Yeah, you can subscribe to the Golden Goal channel, which should be just here on your screen if you want to see more videos from me. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video.